USDA requires in federal regulations that the state goes out and monitors food shelves to assure that there's compliance and that compliance is consistent and that services are provided with dignity throughout the state. A state monitoring visit looks at the big picture of overall policy compliance. When a food bank monitors, they're looking more at the day-to-day operations and how those services are provided.
Hunger Solutions' role in TEFAP monitoring really connects with the Office of Economic Opportunity, who also does monitoring out in the field to the food shelves. We visit 10% of the food shelves, or about 20 of them, every year. We work with them to make sure that they're aware of all the federal compliance issues and that they're following them. But we're also there to be supportive, inform them of best practices, hear what their issues are, and do our best to be a problem solver.
Generally, food shelves are monitored by the state of Minnesota, Office of Economic Opportunity, in addition to the food bank. They also do monitoring visits. OEO, Office of Economic Opportunity, generally monitors 20 to 30 food shelves a year, annually. As the food banks, they try to get and monitor a food shelf within 2 years. So all food shelves in the state of Minnesota receive a monitoring visit within 2 years. The state office uses guiding principles prior to contacting the food shelf. That's communicated, and basically it's a partnership approach with the food shelf. So when the TEFAP visit, monitoring visit is scheduled, we communicate what the guiding principles are. We send out the monitoring form. It's about a 4-page form, and it covers what USDA requests for us to look at compliance. The form is located in the TEFAP manual, in addition on the website with Hunger Solutions. Generally, the average monitoring visit lasts about an hour and a half. Now that can depend on the size of the food shelf and the information that's covered. We have a conversational piece and a walkthrough piece. All right, Sean, well, let's talk a little bit the items that are distributed here at this food shelf.
We get some dry goods.
Once a corrective action is cited, it may be as simple as not having a thermometer in a refrigerator freezer. So during that monitor, we were with that food shelf to resolve that issue right on site.
What food shelves think about the monitoring visits, probably their first time, is a bit intimidating. They probably think it's a corrective thing, something to try to catch them doing something wrong. But once we've met the state monitor and see that they're really on our side, they want to help us to get better at what we do. And so they're not just trying to find things wrong, they're trying to help teach us how to do it better in the future. And so it's conversation and some correction, but it's generous correction. And then with the outcome being that we can feed people better and do a better job in our community. What food shelves are concerned with during monitoring visits is, of course, to learn how to do it right, to position ourselves for that better future. Things to make sure we're in compliance with all our forms, making sure that our temperatures of our cooling, our refrigeration, and our freezers are being monitored regularly, making sure we're training our staff how to do things right and to have best practices. Storage of just dry goods, making sure they're up off the floor 6 inches. Making sure we're rotating stock. These are just some examples of what a state monitor is going to help us to do better, things that we should be prepared for. I always suggest having a checklist in advance so you know what to follow, and then you can train your staff to do those things. And I think those would be some of the things that a local food shelf might want to consider.
For more information, visit hungersolutions.org/TEFAP.